This is a video to answer one of your most commonly asked questions on my channel. What do you varnish your Collagraph plate with? I am going to run an experiment using 6 Collagraph plates, and I'm going to varnish them with 5 different varnishes and leave one unvarnished. And hopefully that will answer your question. Enjoy the video. I have a group of Collagraph plates here, and if you want to see how I'm going to make them, I'm going to release the video soon. And at the back of each plate I have written down which varnish, if any, I'm going to use, so I don't forget and don't get confused, and I can easily compare and see what the results are. So the first varnish I'm using here is Shellac. Good varnish because it doesn't show brush marks as much, and it's very good at, if you use it, you will be able to see all the you should be able to see all the delicate marks you've made. So I'm spreading it on my plate with a J cloth, as you can see, because I don't want to want to have as smooth as possible. Well, that's the theory anyway. And I don't want to have any hairs off the brush. The next varnish I am using is UV varnish that you put on acrylic paintings, and it's a matte varnish, it's a satin varnish, so I'm hoping that it won't affect the tonal values too much. Shellac is satin finish too, and I'm hoping that won't affect very light tonal values of my Collagraph. Next varnish is just your typical wood glue from DIY store. I am actually watering it down because if I used it in its original format, it would actually be too thick and it would probably disguise most of my dark tonal values. The next one is a craft sealer. Basically, it's an acrylic spray. It's matte, so it should, well, in theory, not interfere too much with my light tonal values. And advantage of a acrylic spray is that you won't get any brush strokes or any sort of particles of the media you're applying it with. And the next varnish is gloss media, and I forgot to film that. Sorry about that. But anyway, it's boring. All I did is watered it down a little bit, just like water glue, and applied with a paintbrush. So I have got 5 different varnishes, and my 6th plate has got nothing on it. So it's going to be really good to see how a plate that has nothing on it at all going to behave versus different varnishes. So now it's time to apply ink, and I'm using black Akua ink and just spreading it on a perspex sheet and rolling it out. And now I'm going to roll it onto my plates, and I'm just doing it with a roller, and of course it's not going to reach everywhere, but then I'm going to push it in with round movements in using a scrim. And I'm going to do it with all the plates. I'm not going to show you how I'm doing it with all the plates because it's basically the same procedure, but you get the gist. So next step is placing all my plates lovely and inked up on my printing press, which is a Polymetaal tabletop press. And I'm not really that fast that they are close together because they are not prints. It's just to show you really the difference between the different varnishes. So just putting a bit of newsprint on and a bit of cardboard just to give that extra layer of protection. Adjusting my press, and as you can see I've got it pretty tight, so it's a bit of a struggle to roll it through, but here you go. And yes, all good bar one. The UV varnish was really sticky. perhaps I didn't wait long enough. That's what I thought. Maybe I didn't wait long enough. But then I did next day and it was still super sticky, even by applying a bit of linseed oil before printing didn't help. So here is all 6. And as you can see, top left corner is the one without any varnish at all. So I don't know about you, but I think I prefer the Collagraph with no varnish at all. And this is the reason why I don't varnish my Collagraphs. You guys very often ask me, what do you varnish with? And I used to varnish with shellac, but I have really gone away from that because I don't really do any additioning. I pretty much print 1 or 2 or maybe 3 and I move on, and I then create a new plate. So for me, additioning is not an issue. So I'm not super keen to protect the plate. I just want those beautiful contrasts and tonal values and delicate details, which varnishing, unfortunately, can diminish. So I am a huge advocate of not varnishing my plates. But of course, if you do additioning, you will need to varnish your plates. So I would strongly recommend that. So this one is a UV varnish plate. As you can see, I have lots of bits stuck because it was just too sticky. So don't use UV acrylic varnish. It's not good material to varnish your Collagraph plates. The next one is acrylic gloss medium plate, and it's okay. The dark tonal values are there, but they have been disguised significantly by the gloss medium, which, even though watered down, has definitely lightened those darker tones in the middle and at the bottom. Problem with gloss media: easy to overwipe and diminishes the dark tones. And this is, of course, my no varnish at all plate. I absolutely love it. The dark tonal values are just fabulous. And also the mid-tones, which, so as you can see on the sort of swooshes on top of the dark tones, there is some darker bits that came through, and it's just a little bit of micaceous iron oxide that creeped into the I think it was a gloss medium or some other medium that I've used there, and created that lovely sort of darkened tone. It's so crisp, so clear, and everything you want to portray will come through. So yeah, my favorite. I'm staying with no varnishing, happy with that for now. Okay, this one is wood glue. It's not too bad, actually, better than gloss medium. The darker tones have come through a lot better. So I would be tempted to use wood glue rather than gloss medium. Of course, it's a possibility that I might have overwiped with gloss medium, and I haven't here. But from what I can see, I'd have to run this experiment one more time, make sure I wiped the same amount. I wiped the ink off the same amount. But I think wood glue, well, it's a much cheaper type of varnish than gloss medium, and it seems to be doing a good job. This one was shellac. Well, it's pretty good. Again, shellac has toned down my dark values, but it's giving me pretty good detail. So it's quite crisp. So it seems like shellac is probably your top choice for getting more detail. It will act as probably the best varnish after no varnish at all, in my opinion. Anyway, I hope this video helps you guys in deciding whatever to varnish your plate or not, or what varnish to use. I often get asked this question on my channel, so I hope I've helped you in deciding what to use. But I would strongly encourage you to experiment and just see what happens. You don't need to create a plate, just use a bit of dry point and whack on some carborundum and just see how what you get. But always run a comparison with nothing on it, because that will really give you a good guide with how much you've lost using your chosen experimental varnish. Thank you for listening, and see you next video.